Barton Street is a 21-kilometer street that runs between Lock Street North and West Hamilton to 50 Road in Winona. It is one of the longest streets in the city of Hamilton. The city of Hamilton was formerly known as the Barton Township in the early 1900s. In 1960, the city eliminated what was left of the Barton Township. The name Barton is all that remains of the name Barton Township. Rheem Canada factory on Barton West was a vacant water heater factory that was demolished in February of 2012. The All Souls Roman Catholic Church on Barton West of James was opened in 1923 and served the Italian community in the northwest section of the city. The Roach House at 55 Barton was built in 1854 and was the home of Mayor George Roach. He served as mayor of Hamilton between 1875 and 1876. The property once had horse stables and a keeper's cottage. In 1853, the city purchased a building called Hewson's Folly and renovated it to become a municipal hospital. The hospital was named the City Hospital and had about 70 beds. As time passed, the expanding city needed a larger facility that was more up to date. In 1879, the city of Hamilton purchased 4 acres of land between Victoria and Wellington, just north of Barton. In 1882, the new General Hospital was opened and the patients from the City Hospital were moved in and the City Hospital was no more. The Hamilton General Hospital is operated by the Hamilton Health Sciences. It is one of Canada's largest cardiac surgical centers. The hospital was founded in 1848 and was built on what was called Aurora Street, near now what is Ferguson Avenue. It was first known as the House of Industry, and it then evolved into the City Hospital in 1853 before it became the General Hospital in 1882, as mentioned previously. In 1962, the General and the Henderson Hospital merged together to create the Hamilton Civic Hospitals. In 1996 or 1997, the hospitals merged again with Chinook McMaster Hospital to form the Hamilton Health Sciences. The General Hospital is equipped with a rooftop helipad. The rooftop helipad was not always on the roof though. I remember when I was a kid, I would hear the helicopter coming and I would run all the way over to Victoria and Barton Street to see the helicopter land and take off, as it would land right on the corner on the ground level beside the parking garage. The Hamilton General Hospital specializes in cardiac, vascular care, neuroscience, trauma and burn treatment, stroke and rehabilitation. The first jail in Hamilton was at the Wentworth County Courthouse located across the road from the current criminal court building at Main and John Streets. It was replaced by Barton Street Jail on May 1st, 1876. The jail was demolished in 1978 and the current building was built there. There was one escape from the jail in January of 1904 by William Hillis. Hillis somehow managed to get a saw and cut his way through the bars of his cell as the guard slept in the guard's office. He then removed a window at the end of the hall and cut through those bars and escaped. Hillis was originally in jail as a suspect in the shooting of Constable Pierre of Dundas and Constable Barron of Hamilton, who was killed on December 2nd of 1903. He was caught again on February 26th of 1904. 8 people were executed at the old jail in what was called the hang house. March 14th, 1876, Michael McConnell, 38, for murder. June 23rd, 1899, Benjamin Parrott, age 30, for murder of his mother. December 7th, 1900, George Arthur Pearson, age 20, for the murder of Annie Griffin. December 27th, 1907, Jacob Sunfield, for murder of Andrew Radzik. December 19th, 1919, Paul Kowalski, for the murder of Ignace Knott Trembluck during a robbery of $100. 2 weeks before his hanging, he killed his 2 cellmates. January 12th of 1927, John Barty, age 50, murdered Nancy Cook with a hammer. Nancy Cook was from Welland, Ontario. June 8th of 1930, Mike Smith, for murder. February 3rd of 1953 was the last execution of Harry Lee, age 37, for murdering his girlfriend. Constable James Barron, born in 1856 and died in 1903, is buried in the Hamilton Cemetery on York Boulevard. He was the first Hamilton police officer to be killed in the line of duty. On October 26, 1903, he stepped into a lane or alleyway on Catherine Street North to investigate a prowler. Barron was shot 3 times and walked a block after this before collapsing as a result of his injuries, and he died on the next day. His killers were never caught. Kiniski Sports and Cycle on Barton and Wellington, founded in 1915, was made famous by Emil Pop Kiniski. They made the first leather goalie pads. These pads were worn by some of the most notable NHL goalies of all times, including Johnny Bower. This building was constructed in 1884, and the building was torn down on April 26 of 2016. Fire Department Station Number 6 on Barton and Wentworth was built in 1982. Woodland Park on Barton between Sanford and Wentworth is one of the city's oldest parks. It was named after Robert Land and Hannah Horning. Many events, gatherings, and demonstrations took place at this park. Some of these include labor demonstrations and public gatherings, and a VE Day on May 8th of 1945. It has a playground, soccer field, baseball diamond, and a small parking lot. It's also home to one of the first outdoor exercise equipment areas. Westinghouse Air Brake Manufacturing Company opened the first plant in Canada in the year 1896. The first factory was opened on Princess Street at the foot of Sanford Avenue North. The Forum, or Barton Street Arena, was located on Barton Street between Sanford Avenue and Wentworth Street. It was built in 1910 and was intended to be a roller skating rink. This was the first artificial ice skating surface in Hamilton. In 1919, it was remodeled as a hockey arena, and that was the same year Hamilton won the Allen Cup. At the time, it was called the Britannia Arena. The first National Hockey League game played at the arena was on December 22, 1920. NHL player King Clancy scored his first professional goal there. The arena was purchased in 1953 by Kenneth D. Sobel, and he announced his proposal to build a new 6,000 person capacity arena, and it was to be called the Hamilton Forum. The Hamilton Forum officially opened on October 1st, 1953. Sobel died in 1966, and the Forum changed owners several times after this. In 1974, the Forum became the home of the Hamilton Fin Cups and was completely renovated. On April 26, 1976, the last goal was scored there and marked the end of the Junior A Hockey League in the arena. The Fin Cups brought home the Memorial Cup and left Hamilton for St. Catharines. Demolition of the Forum began in September of 1976 and was completely gone in 1977, and single-family homes were built on the site. The arena was the home to NHL's Hamilton Tigers and OHL's Hamilton Tiger Cubs, the Hamilton Red Wings, and the Hamilton Fin Cups. The first game of the 1962 Memorial Cup was held there. The Hamilton Red Wings played the Edmonton Oil Kings and won the game 5-2. Barton Library was the Hamilton Public Library, opened in an old YMCA building on Barton Street. It opened on May 7, 1908. It was closed between February 28, 1935 to July 8, 1938 as a result of budget cuts. It was reopened in the new library building on November 27, 1963. Gibson Street School was built in 1910 and consisted of 8 rooms. In 1914, 12 more rooms were added. It was named after Ontario's 10th Lieutenant Governor, Sir John Morrison Gibson. There was a one-room schoolhouse in 1854 at this location in the Barton Township. It has now been converted into lofts. The Church of the Universe was located at 554 Barton Street East. Walter Tucker founded the church in 1969. The church was founded at a quarry in Puslinch, Ontario. It was named Clearwater Abbey at the time. The property was a safe haven for those who wanted to practice nudism, spirituality, and smoking marijuana in peace. Marijuana was classified as a tree of life and smoked as a sacrament from its members. In 1975, human remains were discovered on the property. Members were removed from the property by police and sheriffs in 1982, when the lease expired. Daniel Morgan, a minister in the Church of the Universe, had been killed in his apartment on Wentworth Street on October 19, 1994. Two men broke into his apartment and tied him up to rob him. When he got free and attacked one of the robbers, they tied him back up, and he was beat to death. In November of 2007, Michael Baldessaro and Walter Tucker were charged and convicted of drug trafficking. In April of 2008, Baldessaro, age 58, was given 2 years in a federal prison for 2 counts of trafficking, and Tucker, age 75, received a 12-month sentence. Michael Baldessaro died on June 9, 2016, at 67 years of age in a hospice after battling cancer. Walter Tucker died on April 26, 2012, at 79 years of age at the Hamilton General Hospital of heart failure. The Truscott brothers purchased a building on the southeast corner of Barton and Birch and opened the Truscott Brothers Funeral Home in 1920. A child care center is now occupying this building. Sam's Tavern on Barton and Chestnut Street is a former home of the Thorpe brothers. The Thorpe brothers were undertakers in Hamilton, Ontario. The Dominion grocery store occupied this building until 1935, and the Waverly Hotel opened in 1936. The Hamilton Police Sherman Avenue station was located on Barton and Sherman, and it was referred to as Station 4. This station served as a headquarters for motorcycle units between 1920 and throughout to the 1960s. The station remained active as a patrol station until 1974. From 1974 to 1977, it was a location of the youth branch. It has been demolished now. On May 24, 1909, an amusement park opened on Barton between Cannon and Barton and Ottawa and Roslyn. It was called the Maple Leaf Park and closed due to the failed attempt to attract visitors. It was a Coney Island type park. The center of Barton, now an outdoor box store mall, it was formerly an indoor mall that opened on October 26, 1955. Prior to it being a mall, it was a racetrack and the Jockey Club of Hamilton. The racetrack was opened in June of 1893. In 1952, E.P. Taylor purchased the property and later sold it to the Greater Hamilton Shopping. There was a children's safety village set up at the Center Mall in 1963. It was complete with Austin cars, roadways, regulation traffic signs, and some known Hamilton buildings. It was designed to teach the young children the rules of the road. East Hamilton Radio opened in 1931 by founders Horace and Ollie Broadbent. Specializing in radio and radio parts, East Hamilton Radio now sells mid to high-end audio, visual, and automotive equipment. Mahoney Park is located on Barton and Walter Avenue. It is a large park with baseball diamonds and a play area with a small creative play structure and spring toys. Hamilton Double Rinks, or Barton Double Rinks, was built in the 1950s, and the facility originally had a nightclub. There were also 2 curling rinks where the parking lot is. In 1972, 2 new rinks were constructed and the curling pads were repurposed for hockey. In January of 2016, it was permanently closed. East Lawn Cemetery on Nash and Barton opened in the early 1900s. The city was having a shortage of municipal properties. The city bought 50.2 acres of land, known as the Mahoney property, and what was Saltfleet Township. They were proposing to turn the land into either A, an industrial complex, or B, a jail. Residents and clergy were unhappy that all cemeteries were located on the opposing side of the city, so East Lawn Cemetery was created. The cemetery was purchased in 1928. The first interments took place in the early 1930s. That's pretty much all I have to say about Barton Street. There are many more streets and many more places located on Barton Street that have lots of significance to the city of Hamilton. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to mention them all. But if there's something you'd like to know about, feel free to leave a comment and I can look into it and add it into a future video. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to click share, like, and subscribe, and have a great day.